One, two. Hello? Can everybody hear me? A little bit of shush. Right, just to introduce myself, in case some of you don't know me, my name's Tim. I happen to be Anouska's daddy. And I used to work for Sussex Police up until 2 years ago. So my experience in public speaking is more being in Crown Court, in Lewes Crown Court. So I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Just looking around, I don't think I've seen any of you in Crown Court when I've been giving evidence, but there we go. Right, I'd like to welcome you all to the reception. People have travelled all over the world to get here, from Trinidad, Scotland, London, Amsterdam. Yeah. So I'd like to introduce a few people on the just on the top table, and particularly send a welcome to them. So we've got Marla. Can you stand up for a second? That's the mother of Anouska. We've got Anton, the father of Christian. We've got Karen, the mother of Christian. So that's the main players in creating Anouska and Christian, I think. I'm so proud of my daughter, and I love her to pieces. She looked marvellous today. She's so talented with all her arts and crafts, catering, and as a mum to Olive and a stepmum to Ella. So I think everybody should give Anouska a little round of applause. Anouska's a lot of people have put a lot of effort into today, and Anouska's not been shy of that. She's got it sorted today, and well done for her for that. As well as heaping praise on my daughter, this occasion also marks the closing of the Bank of Mum and Dad. And it also marks the opening of the Bank of Christian. Now, a few things about Christian. It was quite handy when I was working the police that I could carry out a few background checks on Christian. But I couldn't really find any dirt on you, Christian, yet. But the first time I met Christian, I thought he was like really softly spoken and quiet. How wrong was I? How wrong was I? Actually, one of my hobbies is flying drone helicopters, and I wear goggles and fly these helicopters around. And one day I was flying my helicopters and there was a tap on my shoulder, and it was Christian with the engagement ring asking me if he could marry my daughter. And I thought that was very sweet of him to do that. So thank you very much, Christian. Yeah. It's turned out, Christian's been quite useful. We've travelled a lot on holiday together, and Christian's knowledge of Spanish, Italian has been quite useful. You're very good at foreign languages, Christian, I have to say. Well, you have a go, don't you? After a few drinks, you can converse in pretty much any language. Seriously, Christian's such a good dad to Olive and to Ella, and I'm sure that he's going to make a fantastic husband for Anouska. So well done. It's good to have you in the family, Christian. Thank you. Part of my speech said I'm going to give you some parting wisdom, from my experience to you two. And one of the most important things in life is staying healthy, isn't it? So I'm glad both of you have followed my example and joined a gym. So to finish up this short speech, I think we should, let me just get a drink. Oh, maybe you should all charge your glasses. I think it's... Hello? I think it's... oh, right, I'll give you a second to charge your glasses. Sorry. So has everybody got a drink now? Yeah. It's sort of customary to stand up, if you don't mind standing up, and raise a glass to the happy couple, Anouska and Christian. Way. Good luck. Who's next? Bravo!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. To any of you who can see me, I'm hidden in the corner somewhere, like a whisper in the night. Where's Wally? I'm going to sing a few songs for you while you're eating and mingling and drinking.
Look at, she edited it slightly. It is now just 3 words more than the Belgian Book of Great Recipes. So, where to start? First of all, thanks to the parents of the bride and groom, Kaz and Anton, Tim and Marla, starting with Tim and Marla. What a fantastic job you have done raising an incredibly beautiful, talented, I'm choking up. She is an absolute prize. She's beautiful. She makes cakes in my shop. She's an incredible person and a great mum. She's going to be a great wife. You've done a phenomenal job. Tim and Marla, like a round of applause because you've really, you cracked it. Now getting to Kaz and Anton. Kaz and Anton, not so good. Kind of struggling to say anything. I was racking my brains. Got up at 5:30 in the morning trying to think of nice things I could say. He's got nice eyes. He's got hair. He supports Arsenal, which is a big... Yeah, exactly. Go on, that's it for Arsenal. After that I kind of struggled. So let's leave it at that. Kind of well done. No reflection on you whatsoever. All down to him. I've known both these young people individually and as a couple for about half their lives. I had a friend of Christian's working for me at the time, and he told me that a firm in the same office block had sacked him for being late. He actually turned up 2 hours late on his first day. It wasn't a great start. And he was desperate to work. He was 16 years old. Apparently his first job after leaving school, that of a plumber's mate, hadn't gone so well when he turned up on his first day dressed head to toe in Giorgio Armani. Didn't really think that one through. So here he was, a almost prepubescent teen dressed in the kind of designer gear that made him look like he'd been styled by Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles. So he's awful dress sense. And a voice only slightly softer than the air raid siren. If anyone's ever heard Christian when he's had a couple of drinks inside him. I said to someone once, you know, they say you can see the Great Wall of China from space. You can hear Christian from space. He is that loud. You will have the pleasure of it later, I've got no doubt whatsoever. Remember, mineral water after every drink. Yeah. My instincts at the time told me to show him the door, but then I discovered that he supported Arsenal, and suddenly different rules applied. I decided to take him under my wing and teach him everything I knew. 8.5 minutes later, I'd finished that. I didn't really know a lot, and he was off and running. His first day, he earned himself 800 quid, and the rest is history. He's done very well in the racing game subsequently, which is the biggest miracle since the parting of the Red Sea, as he couldn't even point out which end of a horse kicks. He's mellowed quite a lot over the last few years. His dress sense has definitely improved, as can be seen by the beautifully tailored Ralph Lauren suit he's wearing today. However, it will be a long time before I forget those Gucci print loafers made out of cloth, which were quite hideous. And he was wearing them coupled with some spray-on jeans that, bearing in mind he has a pair of legs that wouldn't stop a pig in an alley, could only be described as a serious fashion faux pas. Quite by chance, as Christian was beavering away working in our office at the bottom of Lansdowne Street, Anouska was working not 200 yards along the road at IGG General Store for my wife Alex. They never really met at this point, and it was about 10 years later that they walked into my cafe, having just started dating. It was a huge surprise to me, but a very pleasant one. And I'm immensely proud to be standing here today. I've given Christian as much marital advice as I can, which intrinsically amounts to just doing what he's told when he's told it. A policy which has stood me in good stead for 26 glorious years that I've been together with Alex. All joking aside, it's wonderful to be here today to celebrate their matrimony, and I genuinely wish them all the happiness in the world. If they are half as happy as myself and Alex have been for over a quarter of a century, then they will be blessed. I've got a good feeling about this one. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses and a toast to a beautiful couple.
Keith, you said you had a short speech. Jesus, I was back there trying to write more speeches. So, no, I just want to start by saying how proud I am that Christian asked me to be his best man. We've known each other for a long time, so to see him couple up with Anouska, it's been really, really overwhelming, and I'm really happy for them both. Obviously, I was thinking of ways I could embarrass Christian with a speech today, but I figured a full day of drinking, he's probably going to embarrass himself anyway. And marriage is a great thing, though. Christian's got himself a beautiful, elegant wife, and Anouska's got herself a new dress and a ring. I haven't really got much more to say. I just want to say a massive congratulations, and may your first wedding night be like a chicken dinner. One fry in the hand, a breast in the other, and lots of stuffing. That's it. Good luck.
Right. Everyone take their seats, please. Get to your seats. Right. I haven't got... Is everyone in? No. I'm going to do a bit before you. Is this thing on? Before I speak, that won't work. Okay. Hi, everyone. So, hi everyone. So I'm Sasha, this is Sarah, and this is Meek. So we know it's not exactly tradition for the bridesmaids to do a speech, but Anouska asked, and we know that she's very hard to say no to. We've tried throughout the years and never won. So, so I'd like to start by saying how beautiful you look today, Anouska. A real-life fairy tale princess. You even made Sarah cry. And Christian, you don't look too bad yourself. So, when Anouska first asked us to be her bridesmaids, we knew it would involve hen do planning, dress shopping, and countless phone calls about table plans. And there was a few. So, while the hen do went pretty well, with us delivering Anouska back to Christian in one Trinidadian theme piece, even if she was asleep, it all went well and there was no chaos. So, thank you to everyone that came and celebrated the hen do and Dutty wined with us throughout London. So, unfortunately, we didn't get to go wedding dress shopping, and that is because Anouska's beautiful dress, with a few alterations, was actually her mother's wedding dress. Back in the 80s, and was actually made by Anouska's grandmother Dolly and her aunt Prim, who's here. So, also, Olive, I'm not sure if we lost the baby.
Oh, no, she's there.
She's there. Also, Olive's dress is also made from the same material as the dress. So, yeah, it came from there. Okay, so moving on, I thought I would tell you the story of how Christian and Anouska first met and first got together. Anouska, Olive finds it very funny. So a few years ago, I was living with my parents and Anouska was living with her dad. And to get away from them, we used to sit in the car. And we'd sit in the car, we'd have a cup of tea, have a cigarette, talk a bit of rubbish. And then one evening, we sort of downloaded Tinder for a bit of a laugh, to sort of have a look and, just sort of generally judge people, etc. And one day, neither of us have ever really done anything with it, we just used to have a bit of a gossip. And one day we saw Christian, and we kind of recognised him from sort of back in the day. I think Anouska maybe met him around with Keith or whatnot, and we kind of recognised him. And then Anouska and Christian started to get talking, and he asked her out on a date. And Anouska said, I don't know if I should go, I don't know, should I go? And I said, no, he seems like he's a nice guy, just go for it. And so, long story short, she agreed to go on a date with him, but she was a little bit nervous, so she actually set me up on FaceTime when he picked her up. So her dad, as he mentioned, being in the police, had CCTV, so I was actually on the camera watching as Christian picked her up. And Anouska was like, check he's all right, and I was just sitting there at home watching as she got ready and got in the car, and he did get out and open the car door for her, so he was a gentleman. Hang on, getting back. And then they went down to their first date at Ginger and Dobbs, where they both realised they met Keith and had a lot in common. So, and then ever since then, they've been inseparable, as you all know. So we've been best friends with Anouska for 17 years, and we can honestly say that Christian seems to be the perfect man for her. They're so similar in many ways, and he definitely knows how to deal with her when she's being slightly needy. Not that that's often. So we did also want to say as well, thank you to Tim. So Tim's had a big part in organising this day, with Anouska just calling him up saying, Daddy, I need this. And he still don't think he really knew what he was having for dinner, but he's done so well in dealing with us girls. And The banker daddy has been very... I think it should stay open. But yeah,
We're buying a house in the next 4 hours.
but no, he's done really well with dealing with us all. And so yeah, thank you, Tim, as well. He's always looked after us when we were younger as well. So thank you to Tim. So thank you to Tim. So isn't it funny that when two people are totally in love and get married, it makes you self-reflect on your own feeling. The girls and I have been doing a lot of that since helping Anouska plan her special day. And I know that as long as Christian makes her this happy, there will always be a part of our hearts complete every day, because we all love you.
Just before we finish, can we all make sure everyone has their glasses full? Anouska, after 17 years of friendship, some competing, and the best memories, most of which I can't share with you today, I just want to say that it's my absolute pleasure, Christian, to be able to share this amazing, strong woman with you. Such a wonderful man that's perfect for her from today. And congratulations to the happy couple, and may you live happily ever after.
Anouska, Christian.
We didn't let her speak because we thought she'd be too drunk by now, but
So-
here we go.
I literally can't put into words how well today's gone. Weather's been questionable,
It's good luck, though.
but it's fine. Don't worry about it. All you've got to think of, you've got the rest of your life together.
Thank you. Should we do another toast?
To the bride!
Let's do a toast! And that could be our cue.
And basically, just, I love you both.
Thank you.
He said something stupid like, "Oh, that girl's so buff, you know." But I never ended up getting talking to her. And 16 years later, we went on our first date. So you could say I played the long game. Our first date, I was made to pick her up down the road from her dad's house so he couldn't see. When she got in the car, I thought she was the most beautiful and most stunning girl I'd ever seen. I took her to Shoreham and we went for our first drink. And after finishing a bottle of champagne at Ginger and Dobbs, which is my best man Keith's place, we went to another bar where I went to order another, but Anouska wouldn't let me put my hand in my pocket. From that moment, I knew she was a keeper. After a few more dates, I knew I wanted to marry her, and I knew I needed to put a ring on her before someone else did. Before I got to do that, later on in the year, Anouska fell pregnant with our beautiful daughter Olive, who you've probably seen running around the area. And I knew I had at least 9 months to show her what a great husband I could be. Not too long after that, at a dinner here, just round the corner over there, I teased her all night and was deliberately horrible to her. And when we walked outside, I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. Obviously, she said yes, or we wouldn't all be here right now. The rest is pretty much history. And since then, Anouska has not only been a fantastic mum to our beautiful daughter Olive, she has also been a fantastic mum to our beautiful daughter Ella. For all you guys that know us well, you should know how much they love each other too. When I think about marriage, I need to look no further than my nan and granddad sitting right here, who next January will be married for 60 years. I know looking at Anouska now, we will be just as happy. In those 60 years, my nan and granddad have barely spent a day away from each other. And me and Anouska have barely spent a day from each other either. We wake up together, we have breakfast together, we have lunch breaks together, we go to the gym together, we have dinner together, and obviously we go to bed together. I know some of you may think that's a bit too much, but personally, I wouldn't have it any other way. I love you, baby. Right. At least she's crying. That was mission accomplished. So. I better get down to my thank yous. First of all, I'd like to thank the father of the bride, Tim, Without you, this wouldn't have been possible. And as well, thank you to Marla, as this wouldn't have been possible without you too. Thank you to my mum for always being there, no matter what. Thank you, Dad. Cheers for the PA, by the way. Thank you to all my grooms, Keith, Josh, Adam and Jim, for always being for me there in different ways. Happy birthday, Jim, by the way. Thank you to all our beautiful bridesmaids, Kaylee, Sasha, Sarah and Ines. I don't know where I'll be with you without you guys. You've made this wedding a lot easier. Thank you, everyone, for coming here. Without you, it wouldn't have been much of a wedding. And lastly, I'd like to finish on a toast to my stunning wife, Anouska. Thanks for putting up with me. I know I can be a grumpy bastard a lot of the time, but I love you so much, and I'm very lucky to have you as my wife. And thank you for pretty much organising 99% of this wedding. Please, can we all stand to raise a glass to my beautiful wife, Anouska? I haven't actually got a glass myself, but to Anouska. Anouska. Thank you very much. We're running a little bit late, so after we've had dessert, if everyone can make their way after the dessert just to the bar area so the lovely staff here can clean up the area and turn this dinner into a party. Thank you very much.